So wonderful. Good morning, dear LinkedIn community, Composites Launch members, EuCIA members, and ECCA signatories. Today, I have the honor to host a very, very special panel, and I'm really glad to have the EuCIA representatives here, but not only that, we have also some of the working group chairs here today with me. And yes, thank you everyone for being part of our show and informing our communities about EuCIA and our ECCA movement. And just a few housekeeping rules. So this live stream will be about 45 minutes to 1 hour, depending on, of course, your engagement with us, which we are inviting you to do so. And you see here on this side a QR code. So while you're listening to us, please make sure that you visit this QR code, because this QR code will bring you directly onto the EuCIA's ECCA page. ECCA is the European Circular Composites Alliance, and we ask all our composites community to join our movement. It's a free movement, but it's a very impactful movement, and we are talking all about ECCA today in order to give you a decision tool whether this will be a movement that you want to join. I've joined this movement already, as all the people here also, with together 165 other signatories. So with me together today is, first of all, greet with me the president of the EuCIA, Roberto Frassine.
Good morning.
Good morning, Roberto. Then we have the managing director, CEO, Raphaël Pleynet.
Good morning, everyone.
And by the way, we are talking here Italy, we are talking here Belgium with Raphaël, I guess, or maybe France even, yeah. Then in no particular order, I'm just going clockwise. We got Jaap van der Woude.
Morning.
Hello, Jaap. Good morning. Then we got Helen. Helen, from where are you tuning in? Okay, that's not my phone. Please move the phone. That's a good reminder to put everything on flight mode. So, Helen, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning.
Yeah. From where are you tuning in, Helen?
I'm tuning in from Switzerland.
Switzerland. Okay, wonderful. Then we got David Tilbrook.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Dave Tilbrook. I'm based at Hexhel in the UK.
In the UK. So we got UK also in the house. And then I see Lorenzo. I guess Lorenzo is in Italy. Is that right?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. From Italy, Lorenzo, in north of Italy. So it's a pleasure.
Very north. Wonderful. Alberto.
Good morning to everybody. I'm calling from Italy, but close to the Swiss border.
Okay, wonderful. Then we got Nelly. Nelly is from the France.
Yes, good morning. I'm from Paris.
From Paris. Which, how do you call it? Arrondissement?
Not arrondissement. A nice little village where Van Gogh died.
Actually. Absolutely. And then we got Julia.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Julia from Afterwind, calling out of Sweden, though I'm Italian. So keeping up.
Okay, so the North, the Scandinavian countries are also here. So dear community, you see we have a wide spread, wide reach. So if you happen to watch us live right now, I know most of you are in the office hours, so you will probably watch this more on the replay or listen to this on the podcast. So if you are here today live, please write in the comments where you are tuning in from. What is your relationship to composites, and what you expect this movement to do for you in the future? Right now, I will then next focus and take all of you except for Roberto and Raphael out of the picture, and I will greet you later on one more time. So, Raphael and Roberto, let's talk about the EuCIA. Maybe a formal introduction from your side for those who don't know the European Composites International Association so well. You are celebrating 65 years soon of existence. So it is a long-standing association, but there may be still some people in our end-user verticals that may not know EuCIA yet. Roberto, you have the first introductory words.
Thank you, Ilkay, for the nice words. It's true. It's 65 years that we bear the responsibility of representing the composite industry in Europe and around the world. We are operating mainly in Europe. Our association is based in Brussels. We are mainly dealing with European affairs, but we have very good relationships with all other composites associations around the world. I guess, Raphaël, we have a presentation of EuCIA, a few slides that we can use to introduce who we are and what's the role of the EuCIA. EuCIA stands for European Composites Industry Association. We are representing the industry in Europe. We are based in Brussels. As I said, we are a legally recognized association under the Belgian law, EISPL. We are the unified voice, or want to be the unified voice of the European composite sectors across the entire value chain. And as a mission, we support the growth, the sustainable growth of the European composite industry and promote the development of a flourishing business environment, taking advantage of the combined expertise of all our members.
And so in terms
this
of
is our very complex but nice structure. The three pillars of EuCIA are the national associations around our continent. We have Belgium, Germany, UK, the Netherlands, and Turkey, and Finland, just to mention a few, together as France, which is on the left side of this slide. EuCIA is also an umbrella association, so we have sectorial organizations as members, two associations which are part of CEFIC, the Association of the Chemical Industry in Europe, who are representing the epoxy resin sector and the unsaturated polyester and vinyl ester resins. Then EPTA, which is the Pultrusion Technology Association, as well as TechFab, the Association of Technical Textiles. And last but not least, we have sectorial alliances, so group or councils that use the EuCIA structure and Liga structure, especially, to promote actions. And we have at the moment the SMC, BMC Alliance, the European Rebar Council. We are forming a new group, which is not listed here, about carbon fibers, which will be called the Carbon Fiber Europe Council, as well as the topic of today, the ECCA, the European Circular Composites Alliance. Together, we represent roughly 85% of the European composite industry.
Anything to add, Raphaël, from your side?
No, I think it's really well done by Roberto. I think it positions who we are, and we can go later on what we are doing. But the main topic today is really to focus on the European
ECCA initiative. I guess, Raphaël, you can take the lead, take the stage and present ECCA to the participants of this webinar.
Yes, let's move then to ECCA. So one more time, dear community, I'm seeing already some comments coming in, like from Matthew. He says, "Good morning, everyone. I'm in the UK representing UK Composites. UK Composites is a company, yeah, and I'm very interested to see what this meeting holds. Thank you," says Matthew. I can see it on the smartphone that it is Matthew. Here on the StreamYard link, we see only a LinkedIn user because of the privacy settings. So yes, please, by all means, write your comments and your questions. We will answer all questions that you are having today, and this is the opportunity to ask really the high-ranked officers and representatives of EuCIA and the ECCA. So with the EuCIA, as you have seen, really 85%, this is a massive figure, representing is represented through the EuCIA, and it's really a great voice. And this great voice is, of course, needed in order to move a few things. And one of these movements that earlier this year, during it was on the first day of JEC World, and thanks also to the JEC Group for being a partner of this alliance. Just to give you an idea, it was if I remember rightly, a short notice new program item at JEC World that a European policy officer was announced. At least it came to my attention on the Thursday. JEC World starts the week after on Tuesday. And I had really the issue that this was 8:30 in the morning. So it was basically prior the official office hours or the exhibition hours. And I had really difficulty to come into JEC World. And some of you guys may remember me sitting there with the security and dealing with the JEC officers and the security. I need to go and attend this ECCA meeting. And okay, JEC Group made it somehow then possible. I came there. And I was really happy to listen then to Roberto's presentation and the officer. And let me tell you that it is very close to my heart and to my passion, this sustainability thing. And it's the first time in the history I'm in composites, say 30 plus years, that a movement like this happens. And that's the reason also why I'm personally so much involved in this. And I asked all ladies and gentlemen to give us an opportunity on the session to introduce this ECCA. And everyone who is now watching this live or in replay, listening on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or all the other channels, we will also do a LinkedIn newsletter on this. Please take this QR code and apply for the ECCA, because the more people we have in our movement, the stronger will be our voice with the European Commission. I mean, this is not an easy task for everyone. I know Roberto is very passionate, and Roberto is putting a lot of effort into that. But Roberto also needs, of course, our backup, our support. Yeah, so his voice will be even more seriously taken. He is seriously taken, yes, but we can elevate this to the maximum, and this is what this LinkedIn Live is about. We are not making a sales pitch as such. This is not a sales process here. It is just to inform you and make an informed decision if you want to join the ECCA Alliance. I believe we, as a composites industry, we must join. It's a must-have. So let's talk then about the ECCA. And for ECCA, I would like to take also Jaap into the picture, because this is also a joint collaboration, and that's the reason why we have a huge team today here. You know, there is a saying that no one is successful on his own, and this is also with ECCA absolutely the thing that EuCIA, the management, has decided to create working groups, and for the working groups we need collaborators, and one of the esteemed collaborators is Jaap van der Woude. He's a thought leader in this application. And I would say, Raphaël, let's go. Do you need the presentation again?
Yes, I think it's Nelly, you shared the presentation. But Ilkay, thank you very much for this introduction. I think you covered very well the roots of this alliance. And here I'm very honored to have Jaap and Roberto here. Jaap is the chairman of the Working Group Sustainability of EuCIA. And the vision of Roberto and Jaap for now many years was to say, okay, we understand what are the barriers to increase the circularity for composite materials. We know the value of composite material, of course, and it's what we worked over the last 2 years through publications, conferences to position and promote the role of the composite materials. But now, to increase the circularity, we had to go to one step ahead. And the step ahead is the Alliance. And here, as EuCIA and Roberto was participating on the Circular Plastic Alliance some years ago, they have seen the achievement from this alliance, especially in terms of standards. And then they decided to duplicate the model through the composite industry. Even if we are a small industry, it shows the maturity of all the stakeholders in this industry. Yes, all together we can accelerate and go a bit further to the increasing of the circularity, and that's what I wanted to say in the introduction. So very quickly on the members. So we have, as of last week, I think 170 signatories now from from around Europe, plus also outside of Europe, because as long as you are interested in what's going on in Europe, you can join the Alliance. The Alliance is free of charge. And we started, as Ilkay said, by the introduction in March. Then the official Alliance has been launched in May. And the first meeting online was in July. And then we are now on the operational phase, as I used to call it, but we will see it later. So the members per category. We have part manufacturers and OEMs, the raw material of the industry, the recyclers, waste management, universities, trade associations, consulting engineering companies, and others. We would like to continue to have more and more OEMs and waste management companies, because the value of this alliance is to really work together and not having only a few part of the value chain, but all the value chain, because we don't want to elaborate scheme which are not realistic. So that's why we need to be close to the ground and the reality. So since we launched, we started the alliance with less than 100 signatories. Now we are 170, and we know that it will continue to grow. Next slide. Thank you. So advance the circular economy for composite material, as I said, bringing together all stakeholders, driving collective actions, and speaking with one voice to the external world. So it means that we need to prove the composite are valuable resource for the circular economy. That's something really essential. Why we need composite? Where are the composite applications? It lasts for long, durability, lightweight material, etc. You know all these things. But it's always fundamental to position and repeat that at the beginning. Facilitate composite materials conservation through proper supply chain. And here we always, our position is to use coming back to this, to use the ISO definition 59004, which says that as long as you keep the intrinsic value of the material, it's considered to be closed loop. And this is also the way we would like to promote the circularity of composite material. Identify and resolve barriers to increase the use of recycled material in new products, and develop circularity strategies and design guidelines aligned with UE regulators. And on the very last point, you have to know that the European Commission has launched a survey called Circular Economy Act survey, because there would be the Circular Economy Act at the end of 26. And from August to last week, there were a consultation for all the organization to really see what is our meaning about the circularity, our expectation from the European Commission. And that was very interesting to see that the objective of the Circular Economy Act is fully aligned with the objectives of our alliance. And to finish on that, when we had the idea to set up this alliance, we went to European Commission a few times, and we continue to have them supporting the alliance, because they expect from the alliance to be a source for future policy regulations. Okay, next slide. So the objective, promote public awareness, foster voluntary pledge for industry to use recycled material. That's also the same on the Circular Economy Act. Set up design for circularity and recycling guidelines. Develop standardized method on LCA, quality of sort composite waste supply chain. Create harmonized UE monitoring system for traceability of recycled composites. a mobilized investment into recycling and R&D infrastructure, public and private. So how to do it? It's really through different working groups, and we can go to the next slide. Oh, okay, here it's maybe just an input from Ilka. You were in your introduction mentioning the policy officer from the DG Gros, Laure Baillargeon, who has been from day one a strong supporter of our initiative, and she continues to follow being on different responsibilities, but we also have a hierarchy supporting these things. But as I said earlier, it's really the policy alignment is crucial, and ECCA will be and is already a source of dialogue platform in between what we can elaborate and what they will finally conclude. So it's a valuable interface. So on the working groups, and that's we have having more than 100 at the beginning, today 170. We split it per market, here really having the same logic than the Circular Plastic Alliance. So of course, with the dedicated markets for composite, aerospace defense, road vehicles and public transportation, industrial and recreational, construction and crossover. So before we move to each responsible of the working groups, I have to say that we started this operational phase at the end of August, and I would like really to thank the voluntary chair and vice chair of each working group, spending a lot of time to prepare and to make it happening. So the work they are doing is fantastic for the industry, and a big thanks to them, because you need to lead the groups. Of course, all the participants also are investing the time and sharing their knowledge, but really all has to be led. And here, the role of EuCIA is acting as facilitator on this initiative now. That's what I could say. So, Jaap, if you want to complete something. So.
Yeah, I just want to add is that we are talking about taking the future in our hands, taking control of our future, and ECCA is the way to go. And I leave everybody with the question: what would the world without composites look like? And we need those materials, and we need to make sure that they are really cemented in the future. So that's what ECCA is about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me or allow me a few follow-up questions. Yeah, first with you. What was your first reaction when you heard about the idea of the alliance?
Well, I think that what was mentioned before, we have been pushing this for a number of years. So the moment that we were able to go public with the initiative of ECCA was really a moment of success. Mm-hmm. And I think what we see now with people signing up in great numbers, and with people that haven't heard about us, but we talk with them about it, there is a great interest. So there are many moments of being happy about this initiative, and so we'll support it as much as we can.
That's cool. Raphaël, where do you see this ECCA in a few years?
Before I answer to that one, I would like to say that Jaap was very impatient, and he was together with Roberto. They were very pushing to make it happen as fast as possible. So that's and then if in 10 years we recognize that there is now a circularity cycles existing in different markets, that will be a strong achievement. That's where I think having also some dedicated waste code, for example, for our industry, even if we are considered small, it's essential that we are able to also have this type of thing. So we will be satisfied if we have regulatory improvements, and also in reality having more and more facts of reuse, repurpose, recycled composite materials. So that's why I'm saying we will be able to have to evaluate it let's give us another purpose in front of us. So it's not short term, but the dynamic is here, and we need now. Our role is to keep the momentum.
Absolutely, and that's that's exactly why I ask you. Are we talking here about a short-term measure, dear community? But you can see, like the EuCIA is already 65 years in existence. This is also a long-term matter here. So, okay, thank you, Raphaël and Jaap, for these explanations on the ECCA. One more time, we will have now a very short break, very, very short. Go to the QR code. You fill in the form within 1 minute. I guarantee you, it's really just very basic formula. And once you've sent it, you have the chance by the 18th of November to be invited to the General Assembly, the very first General Assembly in Brussels on the 4th of December. So go there and meet all of us at the General Assembly, and let's really have a fun time, great time influencing these sustainability matters. So now a short break, and then we will continue with the working group chairs. And there's no particular order. I will just go through our agenda here, and we will start then with Helen. Helen, please prepare for your slot. So, Helen, did you recognize some of the people which were on the trailer?
A few, actually, yes.
A few, actually, yes. So the composites industry is like a family, and it's really great and an honor for me to have you here today on the show. For those who don't know you yet, please introduce yourself. So we will do this with every chair, vice chair of the working groups. And then we will dive into the working group itself.
No problem. Can you hear and see me okay?
Absolutely perfect.
Great. All right. So yeah, hello again. My name's Helen Boston. I'm here today representing not just the company that I work for, which is Alta Performance Materials, but also the CEFIC UPVE sector group. I am the vice chair of the crossover working group. The chair is Philip Easthill, who's from the European boating industry. So the crossover working group. So this was set up really to strengthen collaboration across the ECCA working groups and the composites value chain. So, bringing together different ECCA working groups and market sectors that perhaps don't always have a natural bridge between them. The sector group, or the working group, sorry, we've got three main objectives. The first one, and perhaps not surprisingly, is to foster synergies across the ECCA working groups and sectors. So breaking down silos and connecting the dots between different markets, applications, and regulatory areas. It's really about enabling crossovers, I guess, the name of the group, where we can learn from each other and address common challenges together. The second objective is to tackle regulatory, funding, and standards barriers that slow down circularity, both at EU and national level. So we want to identify what's working, where the bottlenecks are, and how we can push for more coherent and supportive frameworks. And the third objective is to strengthen end user markets and awareness for circular composites. So we want to promote a holistic cross-industry approach that builds not just technical solutions, but also consumer understanding and promotes the demand for circular materials. So to turn these objectives into action, the group agreed that our top priority for 2025 was a mapping survey. So we sent out a survey to our members and more widely even to people outside of the ECCA working groups. And the purpose of the survey was, I guess, simple but important. So I think we had three objectives, and that was to map the regulatory and administrative barriers affecting circular composites, to identify best and problematic practices across Europe. So recognizing that, there's not just things that we need to improve, but there's things out there, there's pockets of activity out there that are already best practice and that we can learn from. And the third was to build a solid evidence base for our 2026 roadmap and work plan. So that's the work plan for the crossover working group. So that is the objectives and the priorities of the group in a nutshell. Any questions? Or I don't know how many members we have in the group at the moment, but we're quite a big group, which is also comes with its own challenges. Yes.
So thanks for the introduction, Helen. So how often do you meet with your working group, and how intense is the dialogue?
Well, as I said, the working group, the crossover working group, is quite a big group and quite varied, as you might imagine, which is good. We have met, I think, 3 times since we started this activity. And we tend to meet for about an hour.
Yes.
It's always quite a lively discussion, as you might imagine.
Yes.
A lot of people with different opinions, I think all shared opinions as well, right? But coming at it from different angles. So it's an interesting group to be in. And I think, yeah, I'm curious to see what's coming out of the survey when we finally consolidate the results. It could be that we need to do another survey. Who knows? Maybe we didn't reach far enough. But I think that was a good start to mapping out what we want to do in 2026, and what are the key objectives that we want to address as the group.
Yes, I've already filled in the form. I had slight challenges with it because because the logic, which I found very interesting, is that you can only give a point per column. That means you cannot repeat the same point value for each question. And there you have to really deliberately think about giving the points. It's not just put here, here, here, here. You have to think, okay, which is the highest priority, which is the lowest priority. So there's a bit of a thought process there. So it's really a thought through formula. Thank you so much, dear Helen. Anything that you would like to address at this point?
No, I mean, I hope that we had a good input to the survey. I'm not sure yet, and no, I look forward to working with the group. I think we're just getting off the ground, and I'm sure the group's going to get bigger, and that's fine. I think it'll be an interesting year ahead.
Okay, so then I will take Julia next here on the page. Helen, I will come back to you, as I will do with everyone towards the end of the session today, and we'll ask you then for your call to action. So think about a great call to action later on. So we have now Julia. And Julia, she had slight issues in the beginning with the tone. So I'm just asking her, you can hear me now? I can hear you. So Julia, wonderful to have you here. And yeah, please introduce yourself. And then we will dive into your working group.
Yes, so thank you very much for having me. And I'm Julia. I'm co-founder of Afterwind. Afterwind is a Swedish recycling company, and we specialize in composite materials. So we do mechanical and chemical recycling of glass fiber composites primarily. I am, as part of ECCA, chairing 2 working groups, the one that you see here on the stage, the industrial and recreational one, as well as the construction working group, which we'll cover in a second, and we'll have Lorenzo join as we go through all that. From my perspective, I think I want to start with, you use the word multiple times, which is movement, and I really like that word. For me, this ECCA is a real movement. And I think we've been given by the EuCIA, Roberto, Raphaël, Jaap, the opportunity to build this movement. And it is our responsibility as an industry to take this opportunity and do something with it. This is how I joined, and this was my mindset, having a platform to do what's right, or to drive a mission and a vision for the group. And I think my initial thought has been amplified by the people in the group. I could never have thought that in 3 months of working together, we would be where we are today. The industrial and recreational group is made by 70 or so participants. It's a difficult group to manage if you're thinking discussion, bringing everybody in, but it is an extremely active group. I think it's a group that is not afraid of tackling the difficult questions, not afraid of being controversial, and most importantly is extremely passionate. Like, you can see that the people that join this group want to do the right things and are looking for a way to do what's right. And then what's right and how that's defined, it depends on each participant, but that's what we're working on. How do we come to that common definition of how we do it? For both working groups, we meet monthly. We've met so far 3 times. It's been digital sessions. But then what happened, like ripples in waters, as we started going down a specific discussions, people on the group said, hold on, but we should go deeper in this area and in that area. And so we've had sub-working groups self-forming already, tackling specific topics. There's 4 common areas that I think come up a lot in our discussions, and that are the areas that we're trying to develop further. And those tend to be technology development. So advancing, speeding, scaling. How do we make sure that we have enough recycling technologies to make circular composite really a reality, I guess, for the industry? That means, and I'm quoting one of our members, not technology for technology's sake, but technology with purpose. What are we trying to accomplish with this recycling technology? Which then gets to the next point that the groups discusses very often, which is how do we build value chains? What are the business model and how do we develop the market? And what that means is that how do we increase the quality of the products? How do we build a supply chain? What are the costs and the prices that we are tackling with that? All of this can only happen if we have the right frameworks in place. So a lot of the discussions tend to be around what policies do we need? What standards do we need? What help do we need that can push the industry forward, to then finish off with how do we communicate? And this is like a great example, but what I've learned in my 3 months working with this group is that there are a lot of initiatives out there and there's a lot of things happening, not always known to the broader audience. And so how do we bring all these initiatives out there, starting with these working groups and then going forward from there? I think what we've learned in these 3 months, that it's a journey. You've asked this question before, but one of the points that we always ask ourselves is how do we make these working groups sustainable and how do we keep running it? And I think we're building on 65 years of experience of EuCIA, and we're hoping to build the next 65 years for the industry.
Wonderful. So for our audience, Julia had a bit of a shaky connection, but I think everything is understood. And on the replay, it will be much safer. Julia, allow me a personal question.
Yes.
I have 2 questions to you. One is,
easy ones,
what is
please.
your... Yes, they're easy ones. You will possibly, you will most probably answer them very well. Just a short one. What is your relationship to industrial and recreational?
Yes, personal. As of Afterwind, as a recycling company, we started out with the recycling of wind turbine blades. So that material comes in, and then that's how I grew it forward. From an institutional hat perspective, what I'm doing with EuCIA, I think my experience is very much into building big movements, as you're talking about, and change across industries. That's where I come from. That's what I've always done. And that's what I think I can put my service into the industry and help drive us forward.
Okay. And my second question is, can you a bit explore on the word recreational? For me, this is an abstract concept. What is recreational for our communities who are not so deep into the verticals?
It is also like a question that we get asked from our members, because it is almost 2 distinct industries that we're tackling. So what that encompasses, it goes everything from boats, recreational boats, to small sporting goods items. And it is anything that goes in between. And when we talk with the members that are in the group, we'll find that many challenges are the same, but many are also differently. So it's very different to recycle a boat from recycling a racket. And so what are the challenges and the issues that we face? And also the material output and the quality, where would we put it? How would we handle the different streams? But yes, so industrial and recreation is a broad group that covers many different aspects that need to be worked through individually.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Julia, for all the elaborations here. And then I would say we take David into the picture. David Tilbrook is next. So David, welcome to our show. You are tuning in from the UK.
That's right.
I was in the UK just past week. Very interesting in Birmingham with Composites UK, who is also a large member of the EuCIA and supporter. Greetings to Faye, the new president of Composites UK, and of course David Bailey, whom I interviewed at that occasion. So David, please introduce yourself and what is your working group about?
Excellent. So I'm Dave Tilbrook. I'm Senior Technical Fellow in Hexcel's Research and Technology Organisation in Duxford in the UK. I've been in the industry 25 years, and so I'm really honoured to actually have the opportunity, having spent most of my career developing materials that we make aircraft out of. I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to actually help find the circularity solutions and build out those circularity solutions for the industry. In terms of the Aerospace and Defence Group, we bring together, aerospace is a little peculiar in that it's a pretty tightly regulated industry, and so there is a lot of there's quite a lot of complexity from the point of view of the material suppliers, and you have the airframers, and ultimately quite a regulated deconstruction and dismantling process that the aircraft go through. But the group will also be covering finding circular solutions for what we call production waste. So these will be the materials that either are from the material production processes or the deposition processes that are used for building the structures up. The mission that we are shooting for really is to keep aerospace materials are high value, very high value fibers especially, and it's really important. They don't degrade, the properties are retained, but they are really valuable if we can recycle them and either find ways of reusing them. They retain their properties excellently throughout their life, with the exception of the length of a fiber. So what the mission of the group is to really find how we can maximize the recycling reuse rates. Now this is a really important area because of the benefits of the lightweighting on aircraft in terms of fuel burn to give sustainable aviation. The composite content of aircraft is going to continue. It's at 50% with wide-body aircraft, but the expectation is that more and more of the narrow-body aircraft will also become carbon fiber composites. So it's really important that we find a way to solve this. In terms of how we're approaching this, it's very much a multi-business activity. So we've had some great successes since we started. We've now managed to bring in, we still lack.
Okay, seems we have lost David. Yeah, he's completely out of the studio. Let's move then to Lorenzo and hope that David will be coming back into this live stream. Lorenzo, are you ready? Lorenzo is ready. Okay, Lorenzo, thank you for tuning in. So you are from Italy right now, right?
Yeah, I'm from Italy. I'm located nearby Milan in Bergamo. That is the northern part of Italy. I'm part of Polint Group, so it's let me say I'm a part of the world leading company supplying UPR based material for the composite production around the world. I'm located together with Alberto, that is joining as well this very important meeting. We are located in our headquarters, that is in Bergamo. So it's let me say it's a pleasure to be part of this meeting today, to try to advertise and spread as much as we can our intention around the community.
Okay, so let's dive into your working group then.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm part of the working group construction together with EuCIA. So EuCIA, she is managing as a chair the working group construction. I'm pleased to be the vice chair. So considering that she's very busy managing two groups, I'm going to try to explain to the community what is our intention, what we have done during the, let me say, the last couple of months in the working group construction. So let me say that we start joining together, and we have already performed 3 virtual meetings. So as all the other groups, the people, let me say, keeping and taking part of the working group construction are a little bit lower in terms of numbers, because roughly we were in between 20 and 30 people attending each group. So a little bit less than the other group managed by EuCIA. So probably the working group construction is much easier to be managed compared to the other, even if we have a lot of discussion, because we are not so many people, but every one of us has really strong ideas in terms of recyclability and trying to make real the recycle of composite material. So what we have done during the last 3 months, we started discussing together how to approach the recyclability of composite material. And let me say that what we agreed as one of the most important statements inside our group was that we can talk about and discuss about recyclability of composite material in construction, but finally, sooner or later, composite material are composite materials. So a final cross contamination and cross approach among all the different groups probably will be the best solution to try to build up a real case, because the second very important point was define a real business case that can consider at 360-degree all the parts and all the points need to be developed in order to make the recyclability of composite material something on a daily basis in terms of our life. We have defined, let me say, our statement, our vision, and we made a I think that it was a really constructive exercise to try to define where we want to be in 10 years from now. And I believe that this exercise was really a very good exercise to put idea on the table and define on which aspect we wanna work and stress our community and our groups. So we discuss about the different technology available in this moment concerning the recyclability of composite material. We know that there are a lot of technology. Some of them are embryonic. Some of them are really in this moment already available at industrial scale. So we discuss about different approach that can be applied for the recyclability and the recycle of composite material. What we stress it's a concept that as a European community we want to be the first in order to define a real path for the recyclability and the real recycle of composite material. And something that we all agree is that European people made the history during the 19th century by developing what was at that time the industrial chemist, and inside the industrial chemist there is also the composite material production. I believe that we have the resources and the technology to be the first again around the world to make the real composite recycle path something available and that can be even transferred in different parts of the world that in this moment are not so keen to recycle composite materials. So we can be again the first to develop everything. So this is more or less what we have, what we did discuss together and stress. I don't know, Woude, if you want to add something more, or I did summarize more or less all the topics.
I think that was great. Thank you very much for putting it together. Yes.
You are on mute, Ilke.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Lorenzo, thank you so much for the elaboration and introducing this working group. So I took EuCIA also deliberately into this. So EuCIA, Lorenzo says the construction group, as far as I understood, is a little smaller than the industrial or the recreational or the other groups. How would you explain that, EuCIA? What is your explanation?
So what I'm what I'm being told by our members over and over is that composite in construction have the lowest penetration. There's numbers being quoted that as a construction material overall is the lowest penetration, and therefore it seemed like a lot of the members moved towards the other, the other sectors and the other industries. However, as the conversation evolves, I think what we're learning is the definition of composite in construction is a bit broader than what initially started. So I actually think that there's going to be more and more discussion and more people coming in and joining this group.
Okay. This is a fantastic new insight. So David is back. Thank you, David, for coming back. I will park you for now and come back to you later on. Okay.
Thanks.
Julia, let me and Lorenzo, let me dive a bit into construction, because I lately, maybe you've seen, I've been to JEC Forum Dach in Dresden, and in Dresden there's this villa, this carbon cube concept, and you can make such nice things about carbon beton, we call it in Germany, carbon composites in construction, very sleek walls, the staircase and things like that. What comes to my mind is recycling in concrete a topic at all? I mean, these buildings are made to last forever. Maybe recycling or sustainability is maybe not really the focus there. How would you convince me otherwise?
You can go, because it's our
topic. Yeah. You go first, Lorenzo, and then
No, you can go, Julia, because I only want to say that let me say this is our main discussion among all the teams in working construction group. So it's okay. You can go.
Yeah, so I think you're touching on a very good point, and it is about where does it sit in the recycling, I'm going to call it journey. So I'm going to try to represent the view of the entire group. But we think that there is space for recycling composite into cement or concrete. But when, where, how much, and is that the ultimate solution versus a solution? And so a lot of the discussions are about how do we develop parallel technologies, because in the end, the goal for everybody is valorizing the material. So reutilizing the intrinsic properties, I think that's what Jaap said initially, of the materials. There are limitations today. And so then the discussions, they evolve into legacy products, new products, right? Tons or benefits in terms of CO2s or type of products. Is there different ways of thinking composite into concrete or to cement? So it is our most controversial item. And I think every working group starts from there. And we're trying to solve how and where does it sit in our recycling journey.
So then I'm totally happy that I really found the wound, the open wound, and I could pour some salt into this so it's even more itchy. But said that, I totally support the idea of having a construction working group, because in Germany, the situation is that you need almost for anything an approval or a certification, homologation. And unfortunately, the construction industry in Germany is not yet at a high level. There are some villas, prototypes there, but it's not so much used in volume. But lately, the dynamics are increasing. A lot of efforts are made into certification, homologations with the DEIBT in Germany, for example. And I would say within the next 3 to 5 years, construction will be a major contributor and user and consumer of composite fibers, at least. And I don't want to think what happens if all the construction would suddenly go to composites. Then there would be no more fibers available for the other industrial and recreational, automotive, aerospace industries. So I prefer rather a gradual increase than a sudden one. So thank you for your work on the construction. Julia, so you got 2 working groups. Did I get that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, cool. And I see also a comment. So Afterwind, your company is very active. We got Sune here, and he says, good morning from Afterwind, true recycling of glass fiber composites in Sweden, and so on and so on. So thank you for being so engaged here and supporting the ECCA movement.
If I could just, I've got the two working groups, but as you can see, I'm not on my own. So we got Lorenzo here, but there's Cam and Enrico, the other groups. So as I said, it's a ripple effect. Like it's
Yeah.
Absolutely cool. So thank you so much. Then we will continue with Alberto. So Alberto, welcome to our show. You're tuning in also from Italy, right?
Yes, but very close to the Swiss border because I'm working from home today. So I live 10 kilometers from the Swiss border. So
that's cool.
That's where I am. No, so as I'm a colleague of Lorenzo working for Polint, and I'm currently acting also as the chairman of the European Unsaturated Polyester and Vinyl Ester Group, part of the CEFIC Chemical Association in Europe. As a CEFIC UPV group, we are a convinced supporter of EuCIA because EuCIA is having a very important role in being the unified voice of composite in Europe, as it has been said, and we even more support the ECCA Alliance just recently created. Why I'm saying that? I'm saying that because when we talk about composite, the name itself mentions that it consists of different material. It has been said several times this morning that composite is fundamentally small when we look at the entire material to be recycled and even compared to the entire plastic material. So EuCIA contributes to increase the critical mass because it includes the different components of the composite material. So this is one point I would like to make. And associated to this point, it's also important that the recycling technologies which exist and which will be developed for composite material may be specific for composite, but need to rely on existing main recycling value chain. Because since we are a small industry, it will be very difficult that there will be entire supply chain specifically dedicated to composites. So we need to consider these things, that the recycling technology must be aligned with the existing main recycling value chain. And also the technologies must address the needs to recycle both components, the reinforcement component and the organic component, so the resin. These are the specific challenges we need to address. In terms of ECCA, I'm a member of the working group related to the industrial and recreational, which is led by Julia. And my contribution is mainly due to the fact that in my professional life I've been 50% glass fiber, 50% resin. So I think I have a reasonable understanding of the challenges and features of both key material, and I can bring this experience to the group I'm working with. So this is basically my introduction.
So, okay, cool. Dear Alberto, thank you so much for all these insights and many, many greetings to Italy, which is very much represented here today. Then we will go along with Jaap. Jaap, we had him before, and let's see what Jaap has to say. Yes, Jaap, please introduce yourself one more time, and then we go into your working group.
Yeah, I'm Jaap van der Woude, history in fiberglass, but I'm chairman of EuCIA's working group on on sustainability. We have been looking at life cycle assessments of composite parts and are looking into the recycling situation for years. And we have been talking along, taking the CPA example, and have defined what are... The telephone is killing me. I'm sorry. Sorry for that. So we have been looking into the issue of recycling as it comes up, and also to define the value of composites. And as I mentioned before, we have reached the point that we have to take the future in our own hands, and that led in many discussions to a number of conclusions that are already the basis of what ECCA is. We have identified technologies that are out there. We know that they serve different purposes. We have looked at many different streams and tried to understand which are somewhat common and which are somewhat different. And we also have recognized that if you really want to recycle, you need to have a well-defined material. You need to have a value chain. And this is what ECCA is really about, is building the value chain, and start from some of the basics that we have been looking into, and share that among this big group. And I think this very large organization is going to help us to in the various sectors to define what the priorities are. And what we are seeing is that there are very comparable issues per working group, not all the same, but there are also overlaps. So we see commonality between the working group. We see also differences. And that is, in my opinion, the value of the approach. And we have reached the point, and we will discuss that in the 4th of December, where these working groups are looking into and how we can maximize the cooperation among all these groups. And having 170 and 170 plus companies and parties participating in that, we will be successful, I'm sure. It will take time, as was mentioned. It's not something like a sprint, it's more a marathon. And because we have to look at the many different applications, the many different streams, but I'm sure we will be getting there.
So, Jaap, thank you then for all your efforts here. As you can see, the specialists and experts working many, many years in this industry are pushing this movement, and thank you for being part of it. So, Jaap, then I would come back to David one more time. We lost David in the process somehow. The community, because this is a LinkedIn live stream, and is with lives sometimes, unfortunately, the case. It is a technical construct. People can disappear for any reason, but David found his way back, and I'm really happy that he's back from the UK in our live stream. Now, David, remind me, where have we lost you? Where did we stop? And please continue from there.
So I think we were just starting to get onto the approach that we've been taking. So given the nature of the aerospace supply chain, it's really important that we get all of the actors along the supply chain to collaborate here, because each of the right from material originators through OEMs, through including hopefully the leasing companies, dismantlers, and then recyclers and secondary material companies. So we're doing really well on that now. In terms of the membership, since we started in July, we've now managed to bring one of the major dismantlers in Europe into the fold. We also now have 10 recycling, primarily carbon fiber recycling companies signed up from all around the world into the activity, and we're in the process of now working out our main deliverables for the first year and the 5-year plan. So we'll start off, I think, in line with a lot of other of the working groups. We need to capture the peculiarities of the supply chain in terms of what the barriers are to certain types of wastes, where they originate, whether it's production, whether it's to do with maintenance, repair and overhaul, or end of service, and to understand the constraints, what's working well, what's working not so well, and then to sort of start to build out some best practice. The real division here is between handling end-of-life aircraft, which have a very complex value makeup because you have systems, some very high-value metals, as well as composites, and finding out how you get to the point of being able to make this effective. That's one particular challenge, and then the other is perhaps it's not low-hanging fruit, but it's much more immediately actionable, which is probably about, I quite often say that commonality builds circularity. And so identifying how we can get different groups of production wastes to be treated, if you like, in a consistent way to maximize recycling rates. So that's how we're breaking that out, and we'll push that through. I should have mentioned earlier on, I'm really lucky to be supported by an excellent vice chair in the form of Gab Bedini from Westlake. So that's really how we're approaching it. So far, we've met three times. We have an extra working session at the end of this week, and then we'll have the working group. We have working group sessions at the General Assembly as well. Once we've got the main plan sorted, then we will obviously be identifying specific work streams, and I hope that the people that pile in onto those specific activities will then establish their own cadence in order to drive progress.
All right. So, David, now we have you also completed with your contributions. Thank you so much. I think we've covered now everyone. And yeah, I will take now one more time Raphaël and Roberto into the studio and yeah, make a final conclusion on this session today and what are the next steps. Roberto, so first of all, congratulations on the working groups. They are very, very active, I would say.
Yeah. There is a lot of enthusiasm. A lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, a lot of enthusiasm, and we are showing also really transparently what's going on, dear community here. This is in order for you to decide to sign the ECCA membership. You are in composites or have anything to do with composites in the entire value chain. Everyone is welcome. Please make your way to the QR code and be there. So what I've seen today is very active working groups, very thought through active working groups. The verticals are very appropriate. Nothing I would miss at this time. I think we've covered all the end user markets, because in the end it is important that we are not only looking at composites as a materials concept, but also where they are used, because the CO2 decarbonization then basically takes place at the end use level when they are in service. And this is where really the strength of composites lies. Of course, the production of composites compared to steel or aluminium, no questions, is the lowest. But there are also other options in composites like biofibers, hemp and flax and these things, where we could even further reduce the CO2. But in service, while they are flying these parts, while they are driving in electric cars, while they are enabling hydrogen in future, so composites have really a huge variety of end-use applications, and we want to be really enabling that OEMs are able to use the most modern materials. Yeah, what would be now the next step, Roberto?
Well, I guess most has been said already. All that remains is for us to invite you to join our community, as you said, and not to miss the opportunity to meet all in person at our first ECCA General Assembly, which will be held the 4th of December in Brussels at the Square Conference Center. So you are all invited to meet in person there next month.
Very, very good. Raphael, can you give us an overview of the General Assembly? What is known so far, and what can you make known out of it? And community, one rule here, really, you have to have signed the ECCA membership before you can be invited to the GA. Please do us this favor. And now, Raphael, what can be expected at the GA?
Again, thank you, Ilkay, for organizing this talk. And I think listening to everyone, you see first the energy coming from the different players and the value chain. And on the December 4th, I think it will be even stronger. So we will have at the beginning the presentation from our president, Roberto. Then we have the honor, I would say, to have two head of units from one of the DG GROW, European Commission, the other one from DG Mare, who will also emphasize the importance of circularity material in the next policy rules, and also what the Circular Economy Act will bring to our industry. Then we will have also the presentation of ECMA president. So it means ECMA is the American Manufacturers Composite Association, and they are coming over here in Brussels to follow what we are doing here in Europe. So really, it shows the leadership we have in sustainability here in Europe and the interest we generate with our partners. Then we will have each working groups presenting where they are, what is the roadmap 2026. So that's really continuing to be as pragmatic as possible and to follow with small targets, but progressing. The afternoon, we'll have some meetings in between the working groups and conclusion. So that's so it's a full, very important day. I would say the first meeting in person of this alliance. So that's really, it will be an important event.
All right. So the conclusion is cool. The General Assembly is already in the making. Now, dear panelists, maybe you know me or maybe you know me not so well right now, but I'm a very spontaneous and creative guy sometimes. I have a request. Usually what I do is I will do a final round of call to action. A call to action is, I ask a request to the community. What should they do after they've listened to this session here? Now we have a few different nationalities here, and I love foreign languages. Is it possible that we make this call to action, each one of you in his mother tongue? So, for example, Raphael in French, Roberto in Italian. Then we have Sweden here, we have the UK here. So, or any other language that you would like to show. And the purpose would be to get, I would take this as a separate video, and I would launch this as an international video on LinkedIn. If you are agreeing with that. If you are not comfortable with that, do it in English anyway. Raphaël, the first one is you, in French.
Bonjour à tous. En commentaire, je dirais, venez rejoindre l'Alliance si vous voulez encore accélérer la circularité des matériaux composites. C'est le moment de nous rejoindre sur le QR code qui est affiché. À bientôt et au 4 décembre à Bruxelles.
Ok, Roberto, your turn.
Buongiorno a tutti. È un onore essere presidente dell'Associazione Europea, che ha una storia così lunga che risale a 65 anni fa. Quest'anno festeggiamo il nostro anniversario. Riconosco a questa comunità una varietà di intenti, una elevatezza di ingegno e un entusiasmo che non ha pari, quindi è un piacere lavorare con voi, un piacere lavorare per il vantaggio dell'industria dei compositi in Europa e nel mondo.
So, how about Jaap?
Ja, goedemorgen, goedemiddag. Jullie hebben allemaal gehoord hoe belangrijk het is om composieten voor de toekomst zeker te stellen. We hebben ze nodig. Recycling is een van de dingen die we daarbij moeten oplossen. En ECCA is het instrument waarvan ik geloof dat we met z'n allen de problemen kunnen oplossen. Dus word lid. En zoals mijn 2 voorgangers gezegd hebben, ga dan gauw naar Brussel en neem deel aan de General Assembly. Prettige dag nog.
That works very, very well. Thank you, Jaap. Helen, how about you?
I just think it's a great opportunity to get the composite recycling off the ground, because we need all the players to come to the table. So we need the OEMs, the recyclers, and only then can we be successful. So I think this is a great opportunity to bring all the parts of the chain together.
Absolutely. Thank you, Helen. Alberto.
Buongiorno a tutti. L'iniziativa ECCA è essenziale per il futuro dei materiali compositi a matrice termoindurente. È importante aumentare la massa critica degli aderenti a questa iniziativa, quindi la mia richiesta come call to action è che il maggior numero di aziende e di persone aderisca a questa iniziativa. Grazie.
Mille grazie. Now, Julia, how about Swedish?
Ich kann kein Schwedisch, aber ich versuche auf Deutsch, wenn das okay ist.
Ja.
Wir warten auf euch. Wir brauchen eure Ideen, wir brauchen eure Leitung, und ich hoffe, wir treffen uns bald in Brussels persönlich. Wir wollen das zusammen machen, dass ECCA eine große Initiative für Europa bekommt. Danke.
Vielen Dank, das war sehr, sehr schön. Dann Lorenzo. You're muted, Lorenzo.
Ero taciuto. E non voglio ripetere quello che è già stato detto sia da Roberto che da Alberto. Comunque questa alleanza è strategica per supportare il futuro e la vita dei materiali compositi, soprattutto a livello di value chain europea, produzione, applicazione ed anche riciclo. Quindi non posso che spingere la maggior parte delle aziende e dei player sul mercato a partecipare a tutto ciò che stiamo facendo. Grazie mille. So, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Lorenzo. And then we got David.
Hi. So my call to action would be, if you're involved in the aerospace or defense supply chain, or if you're a recycler that could use aerospace materials in circular secondary applications, join ECCA, join the working group on aerospace and defense, and let's take practical action to make aerospace composites circular.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, David. So I will now get everyone for a last bye-bye onto the stage, one after the other. So everyone is there. So thank you so much, everyone, for being part of our show. Dear community, if you have tuned in later, we've discussed the EuCIA and its ECCA movement. And as you can see, there is a huge group of people, 165 signatories prior to this LinkedIn Live. I hope, of course, that after this LinkedIn Live, the number will double or triple even. Allow me to dream, but that's hopefully realistic. And that I will see most of you then in Brussels after you've signed the ECCA declaration. All of you had fantastic competence and expertise in composites, which I really love. Thank you also for following my request in presenting this in your mother tongue. That was really refreshing, and I'm really curious to see how the community will react to this, and I hope next time if we repeat this, we will have even more languages, because in Europe we are so diverse with languages. There are many more languages that need to be here shown and presented to our communities. So thank you and bye dear community.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
How do we connect you with the stories within the composites and sustainable materials industry? We are on the ground to find the facts, and we examine big innovative ideas. To this end, we have launched the Composites Launch Engineering Talks. What is the Composites Launch Engineering Talks? That is abbreviated by CLET. The CLET is an online format where we are streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and recording the panels for your favorite podcast station. Within the CLET, we are giving you a slot and your seat in a panel where we are talking about the entire value chain within the composites industry, from raw material to the end use. We have raw materials, substrates, and components supplying to OEMs covered in that panel discussion. From our online studios in Germany, we cover events and corporates from France, Italy, UK, Central Europe, and many more European regions. Stay informed, stay connected, stay inspired. Join us for creating sustainable value.
With Composites 360 on Tour, Composites Lounge Engineering Talks, and Composites Lounge End User Panels, hosted by İlkay Özpizoğlu. Weekly on LinkedIn, YouTube, and your preferred podcasts.